Hello friends, welcome back to the next video of VbScript. In this video what we will be discussing is the conditional statements that are available in VbScript. So here we'll be discussing about the if statement, we'll be discussing about the for statement, how for statement works. We'll be discussing about the select case, that means what is the syntax of select case, how do we need to pass the values, how it actually works, and we'll be discussing the while statement. Okay. So let's go ahead and take all these topics one by one. Let me open UFT and let me add a new test with the name conditional underscore statements. Also, apart from giving attention to the topics that have been going on, also please pay attention on what I am doing with all this things, renaming it and all those stuff. This will be helpful for you guys to understand UFT when we start with the actual tool. Okay, so the first conditional statement that we are going to discuss is a if else statement. Okay, that is a if else statement. Yes. Let's come here, paste all this, comment all this. So the first one is a if statement. So what is the syntax of a if statement? It is you have to write a if statement followed by a condition, and then there has to be a then, and at the end you have to write a end if. So this is the bare minimum thing that you have to write. Okay, if statement executes, your execution will go inside the if statement, and whatever you have written in this block will get executed only if this condition that you are providing is what is true. If this condition is false, then you can specify a else condition. So the code here will be executed when the condition is true, and the code here will be executed when the condition is false. Let's try to say it. Okay, let's declare two variables dim x comma y, assign some values to it. X is equal to 5 and y is equal to 10. Okay, now let's try to compare these variables. Okay, x equal to y, and let's try to message box the given values are equal, and in the else part let's print the given values are not equal. Okay, so in this case what will happen is this statement will get executed, and since the condition is false, x is 5 and y is 10, which are not equal to each other, this will go into the else part of the if statement, and we'll see output that the given values are not equal. Let's try to execute it. You see the output is the given values are not equal. Now if I make y as 5 and execute this statement once again, this will go into the y became 55, sorry. So let's make y as 5 That means now x and y both are equal. This condition should become true, and we should see a message that the given values are equal. Okay, so finally we are into the true part of the if statement. Now let's see the second conditional statement, that is a for statement. Okay, so I'll create another action. The name for statement, and we'll discuss the for statement here. Okay, so how is a for statement written? You have to write a for, then you have to give the iterator. That means from where to where you want to execute this loop. So let's say I say dim x is equal to 1. Okay, so I say in my for loop, for x is equal to 1 to 10. Okay, I say message box, the value of x is and x. Let's make it 5. Okay, so what will happen? This loop will get executed, and whatever the counter is, it will be by default incremented by 1. You see here, even if you can write step 1, this shows us that this counter will by default be by default will be incremented by 1, and the loop will go on till the maximum values. That means when this statement will executed, what we'll be going to see is, we are going to see that the first time it will be printed as the value of x is 1, then 2, then 3, and then 4, and then 5 respectively. If you want to increment the counter by 2, 3, we can specify the values here, but by default it is 1. Let's see the output. So it is printing me the value of x is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Now our loop has hit the maximum value that we said. Okay, and now it should get out the loop. Now we are out of the loop. So it executed 5 times from x is equal to 1 to 5, and we printed the values. Now let's see the third statement. Okay, that is a select case. This is a special kind of conditional statement in VbScript. Okay, select case. So the syntax of select case is, you have to write a like if statement, be like if, and then the condition then, and then there has to be a and if. Similarly in select, there has to be it will start with a select statement, then there will be a case. Okay, and then here it will be the variable name on which you want to start the case. Okay, and then there will be a end case. So this is the primary syntax. Now let's say I'm taking a value from a user. I'm saying dim x or str. Let's say dim str name, and I'm asking user to give me a input okay. So consider this program as you have a database with you, okay, and you are asking user to provide his first name, and then based on his first name you are printing the salary of the user, okay. This is just a hypothetical program wherein we'll not be checking the database, but we'll be checking that what all value user has provided. As per that, whether this select case statement is executing or not, okay. So we'll say if the user provides an input as Sachin, give a output as message box, the salary is, and let's say 50K, okay. And if the user provides the input as Mark, okay, it prints the salary is 70K, okay. Case, and then you can add a case else statement. Let's say the user provides an input for which you have not written the case, but you want to print a proper message. You can say message box cannot find the user, okay. Let's try to run this, try to ask for different inputs from the user and then see how the output is printed, okay. So if I give Sachin, maybe there is some spelling mistake that I gave, okay. Let's try to run this once again. Oh, so this is the variable name, okay. Now let's try to run it. So what I did, I initiated a different variable here, and here I was using a different variable name. It has to be same. I want to create a select statement on this variable name, that is str name, okay. Let's give an input Mark. It is printing me the salary is 70K, okay. Again, let's try to run this and give an input that is not available in DB, okay. Let's say John. So that is not present in our DB, and that's why we are getting a message that this user is not found in the database or whatever we want to read. Now let's go to the fourth and the last conditional statement that we want to read is that will be covering as a part of this video is while statement, okay. While statement. So what is the syntax of while statement? It has to start with a keyword while, and then it has to follow the condition, and then there has to be a when statement so that your compiler knows that this is the end of a while statement, okay. Again, this while statement executes till the time your condition is true. Till the time this condition remains true, this statement will go on executing. The moment this condition becomes false, the while loop is ended, okay. So let's declare a variable dim x, let's say x is equal to 1, I write a statement that while x is less than 5. Okay, so for now this condition is true. I'll say message box the value of x is and x. Okay, now one thing that we have to be very careful is, like in for loop, the value of your counter, okay, iterator, gets incremented by default, but in while loop it doesn't happen. Okay, you have to increment the value. If I don't write this statement, what will happen? This will become a infinite loop wherein x will always remain 1, which is always lesser than 5, and the loop will continue to get executed. It will become an infinite loop. Okay, so when we are using a while loop, we have to make sure that it is not a infinite loop. There has to be exit condition. Okay, now let's execute this code. Value of x is 1, now it becomes 2, now it becomes 3, now it becomes 4, and the moment it becomes 5, is 5 greater than 5? If is 5 less than 5, the answer is no. The condition becomes false and we come out of the loop. Okay. Now we see how I have structured my code here. Okay, so this is just to show you guys that in QTP, where when we'll study UFT, okay, there is a way, okay, of writing a code. This is how we write code there. Like we create a structured code based on the different small functionalities. We break down the complete code into functionalities and write it down like this. Okay guys, let's meet in the next lecture. Thanks for attending this one.